Hello, Algebra with Finance students. This is the lesson video for Unit 4, Lesson 2. I hope that you have already printed out the Unit 4 notes that were provided to you. You could have that in front of you and that add additional notes and examples that you will be learning after watching this video. So let's get started. Okay, this is all about calculating life insurance rates. And we just need to learn how to read the tables given. So for example, in this first one, they're giving you the monthly premium for every $25,000 worth of coverage. So if you look at this, if let's say you're under 25 years old and you're a male, but you smoke, that means it'll be $4.50 for every $25,000 of coverage that you're going to get. Let's say you're 35 years old and you're a female, 35 years old, and you're a female that does not smoke, that means you will pay $4.40 for every $25,000 of coverage. And in this table here, it just gives you the children's flat rate benefit option. So if you want to have life insurance on a child, depending on their age, for example, if you have a 10-year-old, it will be $2.50 for $6,000 of coverage, and so on. So let's try this example. How much monthly will it be for life insurance for a family of 4? And I gave you some information on the families. You want $100,000 coverage on dad, $75,000 coverage on mom, and then you also want to buy life insurance for the children. The mom is a 24-year-old non-smoker. The dad is a 24-year-old non-smoker, and you have a 10-month-old and a 4-year-old. So let's first look at mom. Mom is 24 years old, so you'll be in this row here. She's a non-smoker and a female. So that means it's $2.50 for $25,000 in coverage. But we want, so it's $2.50 for $25,000 worth of coverage. But we want $75,000. So we want to buy 3 of those packages, right? 25,000 times 3 is 75,000. So I take my $2.50 and I multiply it by 3 in order to have $75,000 worth of coverage. So that means it will cost me $7.50 per month for $75,000 worth of coverage. Now let's try dad. Dad is 24, so same row. He's a non-smoker and a male. So he is going to be $3 for $25,000 worth of coverage. Okay. For him, we want $100,000 of coverage. So that $25,000 times 4, since we want to buy 4 of those, I have to multiply it by 4. So $3 per month times 4 will give me $12 per month for dad to be covered for $100,000. And then if you have a 10-month-old and a 4-year-old, they're both under here, and it would be an extra $2.50 per month. And there's 2 children, so I want to multiply that by 2. So that would be $5 for the kids. So then lastly, if you want to find the total amount per month, you just take each of the monthly charges and add them together. So that means for this family of 4, for the coverages listed, I will be paying $24.50 each month. Let's do some probability review. Remember, probability is the likelihood of something happening. So if something is for sure true, the probability of that event happening is 1 out of 1 or 100%. So for example, think about it. If it's raining outside now, and you ask somebody what's the probability it's going to rain, well, it's already raining. So that probability then would be 100% because it's already happening. Okay. Next example, flipping a coin. What is the probability it's going to either be heads or tails? Well, think about that. The only thing on coins are heads and tails. So the probability of one of those events happening is 100% because all you can get is heads or tails. Okay. However, if something's never true, the probability of that event happening would be 0%. Let's say today I am making this video and I know it is January 28th. I'm in Ohio. What if I say, what's the probability that right now it is in the month of June. Well, it's not the month of June. I just told you it was January, so that probability would be 0%. Some other examples. What's the probability you are going to pick a yellow sock out of a pile of 10 green and blue socks? Well, are there any yellow socks in that pile? No, there's no yellow socks. We just said there were green and blue. So there's zero probability of picking a yellow because there's no yellow to pick, 0%. What's the probability of picking a yellow sock out of a pile if you have 2 blue, 4 green, and 4 yellow? Well, in this case, we do have 4 yellow socks out of the 10 total socks. So it would be 4 out of 10, or 0.4 would be your probability. Or if I turn that to a percent, 40% chance of picking a yellow sock in that pile. Just some review for probability. Okay, life expectancy based on probability. So you do have to know that the sum of all possible events will always add up to 1. So in that past example, when we did the probability of yellow socks in a pile of yellow, green, and blue socks, the probability of picking a yellow sock plus the probability of picking a blue plus the probability of picking a green will be 1. So the sum of all the possible choices will always give you 1. You do have to know the complementary rule. If I told you that you had a pile of 4 red socks and 6 blue socks, okay, the probability of picking a red would be 40%. 4 out of 10, 40%. The complementary rule says you could use this rule to figure out the probability of the other event happening. So the probability of picking a blue sock is just 1 minus the probability of picking a red sock, which is 60%. That's called the complementary rule. Okay? So when you think about it, when you're thinking about living and dying, those are the 2 choices, living and dying, okay? Probability of living plus the probability of dying will be 1 or 100%, okay? That's all that it could be. So the sum of all possible events always adds up to 1. Okay, let's practice this. So they're giving you a table, and life insurance companies do use these type of tables when they're trying to figure out how much your premium is going to be. So they figured out the probability of somebody dying out based on 100,000 people. So let's say you're 36 years old, you're a female, okay? The probability that you will die is 140.4 out of 100,000 people. Or let's try this one. The probability that you're going to die if you're a 36-year-old man, well, if you're a man, 264.1 males died at that age. Out of 100,000 males, if you divide that in your calculator, 264.1 divided by 100,000, you will get, this is your probability of dying if you're that age male. But on the flip side, if I said, what's the probability that you will live 1 more year if you're a 36-year-old male, we're going to use the rules of the complementary rule that we just learned. The probability of living is just 1 minus the probability of dying. We found it above the probability of dying, so if we take 1 minus that, that answer will just be 0.997359. That would be the probability of living using the complementary rule. Okay, some more practice. Sample life insurance premium table illustrates the monthly premium for every $25,000 worth of coverage. So again, we're using the same type of table. Gerald wants $75,000 in coverage for himself. He's a 45-year-old, so we're going to look in this row. He is a smoker and a male, so we have to look here. what will his insurance premium be for $75,000 worth of coverage? Well, we know for $25,000 worth of coverage, right? It's going to be $13. So $13 for $25,000 worth of coverage. We also know that he wants $75,000, so that's $25,000 times 3. So I would have to multiply his premium of $13 times 3 to give me $39 per month for $75,000 worth of coverage, because I would need 3 of these $13 coverage plans. Hopefully you guys will practice this on your own and then come on back and check your answer. Using the table, what is the probability of living another year for a man 35 to 44 years of age? So we look in this row, 35 to 44. We want a man. Okay, kind of just did this one. So hopefully you guys are doing this on your own. So 264.1 is the death rate for that age out of 100,000 people. So you write it as a fraction, then divide it out. So then the probability of living would just be 1 minus that, which gives our probability of living. Okay, this, if you are in coming to the live lesson, this will be the exit ticket, but I want all of you guys to try this at home, put it on pause and come back and check your answer. Lydia, a 25-year-old non-smoker, 25 years old. She's a non-smoker female. She wants to purchase $100,000 in coverage for herself and $50,000 for her spouse, who is male and 23 years old. So let's first do Lydia. It's going to be $3.50 for $25,000 in coverage. I want $100,000. So 25,000 times 4, I would have to buy 4 packages to get $100,000. So for Lydia, for Lydia, it would be $3.50 for $25,000, but I multiplied that by 4, right, to give me $14 a month for $100,000 in coverage. Now her spouse is 23 years old. He's a male and he smokes. So for him, it would be $4.50 a month. I want $50,000 with the coverage. So remember, this is based on 25,000. So I would need 2 of those packages. Okay. So for the spouse, it would be $4.50 for 25,000. I would need 2 of those. So $9 a month for him. And if you add it together to find the total premium, it would be $23 a month for both of them to have life insurance. If you guys have any questions at all, please make sure you reach out to your teacher. Thanks for listening.